Welcome back to Breaking Kayfabe. I'm Saucy, and today we've got the handler of many characters. She goes by the name of Meagan G, and she's the owner, operator, Fed head of Five Boroughs Wrestling. Brittani Helms, Penkzee Nelson, Sabrina Baker. There's a ton. Meg, who am I missing? How many different folks do you have in your personal roster?
Holy shit. My personal roster. Hi, everybody. Watch. The show's going to get canceled by the time it airs. No, I'm just fucking around. Everyone knows I kid around. Let's see. All right. So we got me. So you may know me as some of the characters. Uh, Penkzee Nelson, Brittani Helms, Hayley Fein, current Splat multi-unit Russell champion as of this moment. Fiona Franklin, Sabrina Baker, Meagan G, and Chelsea Kennedy, Tori Colbert, and many more. We can be here all night.
I forget about some of these every time. I mean to do the whole list there, but um, every time I hear you give me that roster, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that you're also Hayley Fein, and you've got this match with Meagan G, Judge Meagan, at the Calamity Chamber. I see that's coming up. So what's going on there? Is she retiring? Is that what I hear, or she may retire pending the results?
Okay, so actually, let me rephrase this again because there's a lot of confusion here. The Judge Meagan character is actually me, Meagan G, and that stems from so that gimmick of Judge Meagan stems from me yelling at somebody even before 5EW opened because they were going off and I sounded like a freaking judge, so it stuck. So that's the character. So, but it's me in a nutshell, except the lead up pick base.
I got you.
So anyway, no, so let me clarify this. This is not a retirement match. I know Splat put the graphic out there. This is a part of the Meagan retirement tour that was dated back in December. A
Okay.
lot of people were thinking that Meagan retired unfairly. The first retirement was against somebody who didn't capitalize on the win that they won, and Meagan rode off into the sunset. Another was a character that nobody really liked that I handled at one point, and that was for a tribute show for my mom who passed away in November 2021 called Live Life. But because I had COVID and other stuff prior, I really couldn't get it done until like January. So it had me thinking about doing a retirement tour. Um, it started back in December against Hayley Fein. Meagan won, and then obviously lost, and so forth. So this match at Calamity Chamber against World Series of Wrestling competitor, and you may know them, Amy Harrison. So the Amy Harrison versus Meagan feud stems back from 2012. So that's 11 years. They
Okay.
hated each other. They wanted to kill each other every which way. And at the time, Meagan was women's champion. And Amy wasn't able to defeat Meagan because Meagan was so strong, dominant. It's like kind of like, and I know you're going to beat me up, Roman Reigns these days, but obviously Meagan would lose. But every time Amy would face Meagan, Amy would just like crumble. So this match in particular stems about the feud. I mean, of course, they've grown up. Respect is along the way. Respect comes each and every way. But Amy was the final CKP Women's Championship, a title that Meagan has held 4 times. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to say four times. And Amy is the last women's champion. If you look back at the Terra Phoenix Charity Cruise, the first one, it was KPN versus Amy. KPN was the champion at the time CKP closed, and Meagan was like, you know what? Let's raise up the notch. We've got two of the best women's wrestlers on this roster and out there, and let them go at it. It meant more than anything, and Amy was able to defeat KP and to become the final CKP Women's Champion, but Amy was never able to defeat Meagan.
Okay, so by the time this video comes out, the Carnage Carnival and the Calamity Chamber will have already been released.
Yes.
And this is an angled match, so you know how it's going to end. Are you happy with the result? And what's next for the character?
So the result was, Amy going over.
Okay.
Amy won the 5BW Rumble, and she has a world championship match against Casey Holliday at Vendetta. So that's going to be huge for Amy because Amy's huge. Mary Ellen didn't win over Meagan at Night of Glory, but as Meagan goes, she just has one more task, and just wait and see. The final chapter is at Vendetta 4 in Toronto.
And how soon is that?
That will be prior towards my move, because I am moving back to New York. That's a long story. Let's see. So the last show of season 4 would be, the match is either going to be the 24th or 25th. Vendetta 4 is 2 nights.
So that's at the end of June.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, we can't wait to see what happens there. It seems like Amy Harrison's got a lot of momentum going there. And I know it's your Fed, so you want to give everybody, a chance to go over. It's got to make things complicated for you.
Even though we are pretty small Fed, but I've been in small Feds before that had a lot of characters. My old friend Sean used to run an old efed. Didn't matter as long as you can handle them. That's all.
Sure.
As long as you can handle it. If you can't handle it, too bad. But sometimes Feds could be small. There's no problem with having a small Fed. 100%, no problem.
So what's your roster size look like?
Right now?
Yeah.
You're talking about, as of this moment, well, I do have an announcement towards the end of the show because, with everything changing, it's going to be different. 41.
40. Wow. Okay, so that's a big roster. What I was going to say, and you can save this till the end of the interview. You're wrapping up season 4 here. You're going to be starting season 5 soon. It may be a good time for new handlers to get involved. Are you looking for new handlers, or what size roster do you want to have going into season 5 or going into some of these other projects?
So with season 5, we haven't had a recruitment drive in a while because I understand 5BW may not be for people. I totally get it. I 100% totally get it. What I look for is loyalty, respect, and see how well the handler can come in. I know Feds do vote in and something. That may be the approach we have to take for season 5. See how committed they are.
Sure.
I'm not here to throw anybody under the rug. I'm not like that. But, there's a lot of people out there that may not fit in 5BW, and that's okay. I quite frankly don't mind.
So in a Fed like that, it's an angle Fed, for those of you who aren't familiar. Five Boroughs also under that same brand name is Total Ambition and War Handle. I think you might have one other show.
So it's War Handle, Festivus. Total Ambition is actually Hayley Fein's project, but they are allowed to compete at 5BW stuff.
Gotcha.
Technically anywhere, but mostly they haven't branched out of 5BW.
And who does all the writing for those shows? Who does the results?
Both JJ and I. I do War Handle, and JJ, who handles Luciana Verdoza, who's also in the World Series of Wrestling, handles Festivus. We split with the pay-per-views and Total Ambition.
What about Five Boroughs, the main show there? Who does all the results for that?
Me and JJ. We both write the shows.
Interesting.
I do War I do War Handle. He does Festivus. Then when it comes to pay-per-views, we split.
Gotcha.
It's even fair base.
So this whole concept of angle feds, I think for anyone who's new to the hobby, they automatically want to go into a competitive fed. And I'm learning that that may not be for me. Angle feds is where it's at. And instead of spending all that time writing role plays, I could see just writing matches and writing the cards and not having to add any additional um, responsibilities to your writing. You know, it's not going to burden or require any extra time. Um, so angle feds seem very attractive to me right now. And the more that I talk to handlers, I didn't realize how many people are in that same boat who really seem to enjoy having this control over the product. You have, I mean, this is, you do competitive role plays occasionally, but this is your bread and butter. This is what you seem to really enjoy. Am I representing that correctly?
Yes. Sometimes when I get competitive, I get really, really worried about, oh my God, how am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Am I good enough? Like with Proud House Wrestling, that's Todrick's fed. You know, I'm waiting for that to come back up. You know, my first RP, I felt pretty bad because there was a lot of stuff going on, and you know, I just completely went splat. That's not me. You know that. I competed in the World Series of Wrestling. I feel bad, but I have to, like, when it comes to competitive, I just write what I want to write. And as soon as I, you know, get in the swing of things, I have to see if it's good or bad. If I win, I win. I lose, I lose. That's the approach I take to it these days.
That's a great attitude to have. It's hard though. It's hard to be okay with the result, regardless of what it is. And I think that's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. But there's so much love for wrestling in general and for creative writing that people find other outlets for it, which is why I think you deserve a lot of credit and applause for 4 full seasons now of Five Boroughs Wrestling. You should be pretty proud of that.
I'm gonna take a lap and bow. And I'm honestly, you know, with this moment, you know, with being in e-fetting for now 18 years. 18 years is a long friggin' ass time.
Wow.
You know, I took that little hiatus from the time being back in 17 to 19. But I've been in this damn for 18 years. 18 years. And I don't know. Are flowers deserved for me? I have no clue. That's for everyone to say. That's the thing.
Well, you know, you should be proud of the work that you've done. So often in this hobby, people write and it feels like nobody's reading the work. It's you're writing for yourself, or that maybe people don't appreciate the work that's been done. And it's important to kind of stop and compare yourself now to the writer that you were years ago, and really just be proud of what you're able to do right now with the content, you know. And
thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
Yes. So what's next? What's coming up for Meagan and for Brittani and Kelly and Hayley and the whole crew?
All right. So Brittani has she's in the World Series of Wrestling, so everybody be prepared for that. That's going to be fun. KPN is your current Festivus World Champion.
Nice.
And Hayley is going to keep on fighting along with her fiance and going against their family member. So that story is going to be pretty interesting to see. Now, as for me, a lot of things have been happening. Personal stuff has been going on between, you know, living here in Pennsylvania. And I have to be out of my house by June 30th because my stepdad wants to sell it, my current house.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I heard that you were on television recently as well.
Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. I was on TV, 6 ABC and NBC 10. So there was I'm going to try to be careful because we don't know if YouTube's going to kick us off the air.
Oh, I got you.
there was a incident around the corner from my house, and there's a lot of factors to me leaving this area, but this it stems from that. But I'm going to mention about this. I was on TV due to a very serious incident where a 15-year-old passed away.
Yeah.
He was unalived by a horrible act right in the neck. I don't want to get into detail, but collapsed and just died on down the street here. The killer is unfortunately still out there. Nobody has seen anything or spoke up. I reached out to TikTok, the handlers. They were able to spread word, but nothing has been found. So the reason why I was on the news was I felt like it was my right to speak up and mention that there's too much violence going on in this world this day. Yeah. And justice has to be deserved for this family. Like, how are you going to sleep at night, going to these restaurants knowing that this person killed somebody? This killer's probably eating fucking, Olive Garden, having a ribeye steak and so forth, or having sex with somebody, not having the good life. Meanwhile, this family is grieving, not knowing what happened to their son. Well, and from there, not getting the justice.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go dark on this episode here, but the reason I brought that up is because I've heard that you are moving back to one of the 5 boroughs of New York. Is that right? Or are you going to be out on Long Island?
Bronx.
You're moving back to one of the boroughs, and I know that you're a big New York fan, right? You're a big Yankees fan. You've got a New York team in the Extreme Baseball League. And I mean, this is a positive change for you, right? It's some new scenery here. You've got a new job, and things seem like it's a new chance for you to start over with the end of the 5 boroughs season, and you're on the cusp of a lot of new stuff here.
Yes, but actually, I'm going to correct you there. My current job is allowing me to work from home.
That's awesome.
Out there. Yes. So I just want to put that out there. Obviously, my friends are going to be understandably sad. I've had a lot of support too. And let me tell you, if you find a second job down here and you try your best to even find a second job, it will not afford anything. And it's a damn shame because, and sorry to go off political here because I really get into like this stuff. Our minimum wage is $7.25 in the state of Pennsylvania.
Right, yes.
And they decided, they say, oh, we're going to raise it up. We're going to raise it up. We're going to raise it up. They don't. The minimum wage has been $7.25 since July 24th, 2009. That's when I graduated high school, 2009. So a lot of people leave and then they try to find better jobs. Plus, the rent is too damn high, believe it or not. Where up in New York, yes, it is $15 an hour but because of the cost of living. But every January 1st, it goes up. Why can't the state of Pennsylvania do that?
Gotcha. Okay, so I want to switch gears here. I know you're very passionate about this, and I've been keeping up with what's going on with you in real life. But I want to try to keep things positive, and I want to celebrate, everything that you've done here. So now that you're rolling into this new season, and you've got a lot of new things coming up, I'm very excited for you because I think you've got one of the warmest hearts in the game. You seem like a completely genuine person, and I know that you're involved with some things that I'm involved with as well, with the World Series of Wrestling and with the Calamity Chamber and with the Extreme Baseball League. So I really appreciate you being part of that.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering if everything works out the way that you want, what happens before the end of the year? What does the rest of 2023 look like for you?
So I hope, but for the grace of God, everything goes well. they should, with the change of scenery, it could obviously work well for me. There's a lot of offers that I'm going to take. And one of the things was going back to school before 2023. My father, my dad offered me to go back. And obviously, there's an opportunity of a lifetime right there.
Yeah.
So, but I was talking to a lot of my friends, and even before 2023 came along, there was a lot of thought of me stepping back. So, towards the end of 2023, I'm going to be taking a step back as a handler role and probably still work with 5BW as the owner, just through writing and everything. I mean, I will help, you out if needed. But for the first time in my life, I feel like I need to stop being a handler and work on Meagan.
Well, I got to tell you from experience that that's the best decision that I made this year was to do exactly that. Focus on content that celebrates everybody else and promotes the community rather than focusing on individual goals. And I know that sounds counterproductive, right? Like you're not doing anything for yourself, but it just seems to me that it's so much more rewarding when you can just kind of deliver this product and it makes so many people happy at the same time.
Right. Now that I look back on it, 18 years, I've accomplished everything. I've accomplished being world champion. I've accomplished running a Fed. I've accomplished being champion. I've made friends. What more do I need to ask for? I've accomplished so much.
Is there anybody that you haven't worked with or haven't had a match with that you would want to?
There's a lot. I definitely want to work with Todrick.
Sure.
Because after, what he did for me in January for this past year, it's appreciative. I know we were supposed to work something out regarding Ravenfest, but something fell apart, and I totally understand. Definitely Lexi. Lexi and I worked. We wrote with each other unexpectedly, but I want to work with Lex, and there's so many more. Like I don't know what the World Series of Wrestling can bring. I mean, last year when I was with KPN, I missed the top 15 unfortunately, but I was right there to come back in. I was right there.
I hope that was a positive experience for you.
No. Yeah, it was because, when I look back at the World Series of Wrestling the first season that I was a part with KPN, I felt like, the respect as a handler from everyone came out, but I just wanted to prove that I wanted to be like everybody else.
Sure.
Like, I know can be underappreciated sometimes, but I think with more respect that I had many moons ago, even when I came back, it's justified, and I can't ask for more.
You have this added challenge that you run a bunch of different characters. So instead of you focusing all your energy in just to one character, you're having to spread it around.
Yeah.
And you see some folks on Twitter who they've got their main, and everybody loves their main, and their main is posting several times a day on Twitter, is getting a lot of traction and has worked with everybody. Well, it's a little bit different when you've got a dozen different creative properties and you're trying to manage them all and not let any of them die. That's
See, there's one thing. I don't believe in, tying yourself down to one character. I believe in spreading out. That's why, a lot of people say, holy shit, why is Meagan handling all these characters? Well, Dave and I, Amy Harrison, we wrote stories together. And that's why all these characters come out. And most of the characters, they align with each other, align with others. And I think it's pretty awesome.
Somebody told me earlier today that part of the uh, one of the biggest challenges of this hobby is when you're still trying to find where you belong and you don't have that circle of people who you can count on and make the experience positive for you regardless of wins and losses. It sounds like you have that crew, between Amy Harrison and Luciana Verdoza and Lexi and Mary Ellen Harrison. I'm not sure if any of these are, if I'm repeating any of the handlers here, but it sounds like
characters.
So you've got these people who are loyal to you and who you trust and who you're very well with their capabilities are, and that's got to be a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I would trade that for all the wins that I've had, just to have people who were consistent and people who were loyal and people who were just there all the time. So I think you should consider yourself fortunate in that respect. And I think that you do a good job being a good friend to them, or else they wouldn't have stuck by your side for this long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I'm probably gonna get shit on for this, but the efed community is what more I can trust in my actual real life friends, believe it or not. Because ever since my mom died, especially Vaca, reaching out to me to see if I'm okay. And I had my friends come out for me, just making sure I was okay. But it was like every single day. My grandmother the other day, she said, when I was talking to her, that I'm normally a backboard for people in my real life.
Yeah.
Where during e-fedding, they care, they check up on me, and that's what I like. My dad even said it, you're too nice. But sometimes kindness can be taken for weakness. That's the thing about it.
I think most of the time it's taken for weakness.
Big time. I agree, yeah.
Yeah, you're onto something there. But you're right. I mean, e-fedding should be therapeutic, right? It should be your escape from reality. It should be your safe place to take a part of yourself and put it out there, and people consume it, they accept it, and then they share a part of themselves with you. It's, when done right, it's a beautiful thing. The problem is that it's often not done right, and it turns into the opposite, right? Because you've bared your soul to these people, and sometimes it can be turned back around on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you've talked a lot about these folks who have helped you along the way, who have worked with you. Is there anybody else that you would like to shout out to or compliment, people that you've worked with? And I'm not fishing for compliments here. So other folks who you think are deserving of recognition.
If there's two unsung people in this hobby, three unsung people in this hobby. The handler of Luciana Verdoza, I think a lot of work needs to be credited for the stuff that this handler has gone through. I hope in the World Series of Wrestling they get drafted. Another unsung hero I'm going to have to say is Janine, who does the graphics and handles characters. I think with battling a lot of things in her life, especially her real life, which, that's her story to tell, I think, she has to be looked out for. And graphics makers are the unsung heroes in this hobby. They take a lot of time to spice up the thing. And I think somebody said it I think it was here or somewhere else, that whoever does the 5BW graphics should be recognized for that. And I think Janine deserves her flowers, big time.
Does Janine have a Twitter account? Does she have a character she handles?
Okay, so Janine's characters are the following. Tyler Truex. Tyler Truex is a former world champion.
Yeah.
the tag team of Alex Bell and Brett Elliott, A and B, and Natalie Eldridge. But she says she's not really good at handling female characters, so she's really good with the male characters.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that we tag Janine and give her a little bit of shine here. As someone who does graphics, we got to take care of our own here. So, Janine, if you're listening to the show, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're the best of us. And the graphics are great. So 5BW has a style to it that is unique. It's very soft. That's probably the best way to put it. And I think you'd probably agree with that. In its delivery, it's very soft. It's very feminine. You have a lot of female wrestlers in the Fed, and that's okay. I mean, that's the flavor of that Fed, and it's a hell of a place. So while I'm looking for an Angle Fed to join next, I guess this summer, I mean, Five Boroughs is definitely one of the ones that I've got to consider.
Oh, and one more thing. Dave, who also handles Amy Harrison, Mariana Harrison, and many others, should get his flowers as well. And I told him to get his ass on the show to talk, because I feel that he deserves to be heard as well. Like, everyone sees, like, oh shit, Meagan and Dave, they always produce stuff with each other. Oh shit, what are Meagan and Dave gonna do? But I really hope that he's on this show.
Yeah, well, we have him lined up. A week from now, Dave will be on the show. And Dave has been helpful for me as well, helped me get the Twitch channel going, and has given me some valuable advice along the way. Very happy to have him involved in the World Series of Wrestling, along with Luciana. So your people are in the fold. They're good people, and if you vouch for them, I think that says a lot. But they seem to be very just good people. I don't know how else to say it. All right, Meg. So I want to wrap things up, but I want to give you an open stage here. Is there anything else you'd like to promote? Anybody you'd like to recognize? Anything that we're missing?
So I want to recognize Finn Balor, because he's pretty good at everything like that. I know Dave's like gonna go. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, I was being actually serious at first. All right, so I want to thank you, Tim, for allowing me to be on this show.
Sure.
I'm surprised we haven't got canceled yet.
I'm working on it.
No, I'm here actually. No, there's a lot of good people out there. Keep on doing what you're doing. You guys are bringing podcasts up, which is 100% good. Thank you everyone that has supported me through these past 20-something months during a time of roughness, and I'm looking forward to starting my 18th year in a place where my dad. So funny enough, my dad actually respects the efeding hobby because of the writing aspect, but he doesn't know the dark side stuff. So I don't want anybody ruin it when I'm up there. I'm gonna kill you guys if you do. You didn't do that. So yeah, but I just want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, hey, from the handler of Meagan G and Hayley Fein and Brittani Helms and Penkzee Nelson and a slew of others, and from me, the Sauce Boss, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Breaking Kayfabe. If you'd like to be on the show, please reach out to me and let's set something up. We'd love to have you come on the show, talk about what you have going on, your projects, your experience, your truth, and let's just talk about this efed hobby in general. If you're on the YouTube channel now, hit that little subscribe button if you wouldn't mind, and tell your friends about the show. So thanks for coming by. Everybody love everybody. We'll see you again down the road.
Bye-bye.